Hey there, friends. My name is Sarah Mastriani Levi. I appreciate you joining us again for another healing conversation. Each week, we dive into different topics and how we can heal through things that we're experiencing, things that you might encounter that you didn't expect. And tonight is going to be no exception. I don't know about you guys, but dreaming has had a lot of qualities to it that have changed throughout the years. There are places in life, where in tribes where you come to the breakfast circle around the fire and they ask you what you dreamed. And in so many of those cultures, that is a very connective point, and there's a lot of respect for dreams and interpretations of dreams from all different societies and cultures. And then we have the random dreams that show up, and sometimes we remember them, sometimes we don't. And it's always interesting to see what shows up. But I think, when you're little, what do you dream to be when you grow up is kind of like a question that you get asked, and you can put your expectations on what you want to be. But by the time you're an adult, if somebody says you're dreamy, that's a compliment. But if they say, oh, he's just a dreamer, head lost in the clouds, that's somebody who's not taking action. So there's all these connotations around dreaming, and we thought it would be really interesting to dive into what it means to heal the dreamer as an adult, and to see where dreams show up, not only to guide us, but also to allow us to address our expectations and where faith and other things have shown up in our lives. So I'd like to invite William to join me, and let's dive in. Hey there.
Hello, how are you?
I'm great. I don't know if I've ever told you this, but I really, really love all things about dreams and dream interpretation, and I have read so much of Robert Moss's work around dream work and lucid dreaming and all kinds of other things. So, the word dreamer to me doesn't mean something negative. It's almost prophetic.
Right.
What does dreaming or dreamer incite in you?
For me, it was, creating another reality. It basically giving me access to something else. I can remember as a kid, I was accused of, and I admitted to, daydreaming. I was a daydreamer, right? That moment that there was something happen or something didn't happen, that I took the invitation that I am going to create what the hell I want, right? Right now. And so that's where I was. That's what I would allow a bird flying by to turn into a story, to turn into something, to turn into an adventure. And so I really took that as, I don't want to say an escape, right? I guess that's what it was, of a self-managing tool, right? And then it shifted when I guess one reason why, because I felt that there was a number of people around me that used, it was a bad word. It was seen as I don't want to say less than, but there was something that wasn't right about that Willie kid, because he's always, somewhere else, cloud nine, wherever. And so I didn't want that rep. So I, stopped or didn't do it in public, or just kind of really reduced that until I got to a place where then I started having dreams for my life, seeing me, not seeing things, having an adventure, seeing me show up. And many of those things I would, go after without a clear plan, right? But some of them were just like, well, that's a cool dream, right? And just kind of yeah, to go from there. So I am definitely a dreamer, but it's kind of now. Just what's coming to me is that I used to try to manage my reality.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm managing my dreams.
That's
I'm
beautiful.
I am, it is really, there's this inquiry of, is that, is that mine? Is this my adventure? So,
Mm-hmm.
hmm,
Let's get a little bit more granular because
okay,
dreams seem like sometimes they're the things of nighttime that
right.
show up as we're sleeping, and sometimes they're daydreaming, and sometimes they're imagination.
Hmm.
How do the three feel different to you?
Hmm. The my imagination, I call it, wishful hoping, right?
Mm,
There's this like, well, I imagine, X, Y, and just fill in the blank, right? And it's just like there's just it's just crazy stuff, crazy stuff. The daydream was escape, and my night, um, there, my night dreaming feels like there are just um, something is trying to get my attention
mhm,
that um, I don't want to say that I will deny, but it's like I have been also accused of being, not hard headed, but it's a little slow, as they say. So it kind of gets, it's like, oh yeah. And it's like, dude, so, I mean, so it's fascinating. It's fascinating in this last year. I guess, I don't know how many months, 3, 4 months now. And, it's a shame that I don't even think of 2020 as a year. It just happened. But, there is this sense of, I'm aware of my dreams. I'm aware of the visual images that just appear without me kind of leading them that way. If you understand what I mean.
during waking or sleeping
Yeah,
hours?
during waking hour and sleeping hours, I'm remembering what I'm dreaming. So
Mm-hmm.
that was something that it was like there was always something. Oh, I have a sense of what I was dreaming, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, but now I remember, or I get like, the synopsis in the last, 20 minutes. It's like, okay, he's about to wake up. Let's kind of wrap this up and give him a summary, right? Right. It's like, this is what we were
Yes.
talking about, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But my day, I don't know. Like I said, I don't even know if it's daydreaming or not, because it's not me trying to escape. It's not me trying to like go somewhere. There was this, there's this imagery that comes within my speaking, and many times to explain my thoughts and my speaking, I will just share, hey, this is what I'm seeing, right? And it's
Mm-hmm.
just like, who are you, right? Right, and
Who
just
is
kind of
this
go from
guy?
there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So those are the differences for me.
Mm-hmm. And sitting with that and just um, thinking about in Tibetan culture, when we talk about, not we, I'm not Tibetan, but when it is spoken of sleeping, it is spoken of practicing death, practicing
Mm,
dying, and
mm,
the surrender to that, and we step into timelessness, and we step into this trajectory that we don't know where it's going, and somehow our spirit is tethered to our bodies and goes, some people call it astral travel, whatever. The
mm,
silver cord connects us back to our bodies, and I know that frequently for me, as I'm falling asleep, I'll have those jumps back into my body. Do
mm.
you know what I'm talking about? You're just about to
Yeah.
nod off, and then And
Right. Yeah.
they talk about your spirit kind of leaving your body, and you're stepping into the realm of infinite possibility, infinite wisdom, infinite
Mm.
guidance, and how we try and control it because out of fear or out of like, whew, that went too fast, or I don't even know if it's ever happened to you before that you've taken a nap and suddenly you've been startled awake and
Mm.
you realize that your eyes are open, but you're not like actually, it's not sleep paralysis, but you're not exactly completely seated in your
Sleep,
body.
right. Mm.
So, there's a lot of discussion in Tibetan culture and lineage that is the cord pulling the soul back. And
Wow.
what do we bring back with us when we come through? And I think it's so interesting how spiritually we're pretty invested in this forgetting business
Mm.
because it's not critical to remember it.
Right.
And it still will teach us and shape us. But it's like, oh, the mysteries that we can discover if we could only remember.
Right. It's kind of, for me, there's a large part of me, I'll just say it that way, that would prefer to not remember my dreams.
What would happen if you did?
Um, there feels like there's an obligation to them.
Mm.
There feels like there is, I because I operate from this, I am aware of this, whatever this is,
Mm-hmm.
for a reason, for me to do something with, not just to be aware.
Yeah.
There is something that there's a doing that comes with this awareness.
Mm-hmm.
And even though I have a mug that says, think big and dream big, it's like, stop it. you
Mm-hmm.
know
Yeah.
you're setting yourself up. It's like, I don't, I put something on Facebook this week, that the meme that says, if your dreams don't scare you, they're not big enough. And I
Mm-hmm.
was like, my dreams scared the hell out of me, so I guess I'm good, right? You know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah.
so it's that type of thing. So there feels like there is this obligation to my dreams, and so that's why. And I don't know if, because I've taken on this dreamer label, right? Because it's like everybody dreams, what everybody does. I don't think everybody takes on that dreamer label,
Mm-hmm.
and what that means to them, or how that will show up in their life.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, I don't know what that's all about.
Mm-hmm. So, as we're talking about this, I'm seeing that there's a leaning in your discussion to being a dreamer
Hmm.
in the daytime, and kind of like this disrespect that comes along with it, or that who do you think you are to
Right,
dream something that big, or
right.
what are you trying to create? What are you doing with these dreams?
Yeah, and and it's not just, it's for me. I'll speak for myself. It's not just external. I mean, look, my dreamer gene was activated, and I told a couple, dear friends, and one of my friends said to me that, um, I just don't want to see you in pain anymore, because I remember how the last time almost took you out, and I don't want to see my friend
Mm-hmm.
deal with that. And I was like, I knew it was tough, but I didn't realize it was that. For me, there was a part of it for me, because there was a part of me that wanted to say, well, what the hell happened? Right. I mean, it's like, but the other part was like, yeah, I don't want to know. I don't want to
Mm-hmm.
know. But I mean, he was like very emotional about it, that he was
Mm-hmm.
like, I want to support you. However, if this doesn't work out, I don't.
Mm-hmm.
And so there has been those moments within myself to say, dude, dreamer, don't knock it off, right? Do I have to tell you, right? Do I have to tell you you almost lost your marriage? Do I have to tell you the level of debt that you went into? Do I have to tell you the sense of self that you lost? I mean, what the hell? Right?
Yeah.
It's taken, 5 years, almost 7 years, 5 to 7 years for you to get to this place. And what the hell are we doing?
Why are you diving back in?
Yeah.
So safety, right? Your friend is
Right.
concerned about your safety and
Right.
your mental health and
Right.
survival. And yet, even though all of that can and is or may be true,
Right.
you still have 100% survival rate.
Right.
Just saying, like.
Right. Yeah. And it is this, there is a small part of me that was like, yeah, just don't do this. The larger part of me is saying, you cannot do this.
The thing you
Yeah,
can't not do,
right.
right?
This
Our
is,
double
yeah,
negatives that you
right,
must do.
right. And it's just like, all right, I
We're
guess
doing
we're doing
this.
this, right? I
Yeah.
guess we're doing this.
So I'm going to probably slowly pull the cards up that I pulled for tonight. And I pulled them even before we came up with the idea of dreamer, really.
Yeah.
And there was this kind of ironic nature, as I mentioned to you. Generally, when I pull cards, I either see like one or two themes and they all get bunched together, and it's like, okay, thank you for these confirmations, 1, 2, and 3, no matter how many cards I pull up.
Right.
And sometimes there is like a narrative or something like that. This time I was just like, what's going on here?
Right.
But actually, I'm going to start with these. It says, open your heart. And I'm going to have to just turn it around to read. Oh, there it is. Your potential is far greater. Wait a minute. Your potential for greater love rests in opening your heart. Blockages and wounds from your past will be healed. You'll be met with a true passion you seek. Okay, so open your heart. And then together with that, we get dun, 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 shield yourself, which to me is like,
Right.
that's the freaking opposite. What are you telling me here? And it says, invoke protection to bring the situation to a speedy end. So, like, have I stripped my armor away, or did I just kind of distance it from my body?
Right.
And what's supposed to happen in that space that's in between? And then some other things came up. So we've got this visual of the armor distance from our body.
Right.
And then we get some other messages that say, tune out distractions. The snake means transformation. The person is on a boat. They're on their journey somewhere. So we need to tune out those distractions. Simplify your life. Okay, so I'm in that space between my armor and my heart wide open, and I'm simplifying my life. I'm tuning out the distractions and take time to breathe. Like, okay, I get that. So we're in there, and it's kind of a waiting game. Heart open, armor up, simplifying our lives. And what are we doing while we're there? Well, we have another dichotomy that exists. Listening for truth. Well, that makes sense that would happen as we're breathing through something and slowing down and focusing. But then, speak up. Well, how do I listen and speak up both simultaneously? So it started to become evident to me that there is a place within us of duality that builds the distance between the armor and
Right.
the heart.
Right. it's like that messy middle, as you talk
Mm-hmm.
about, just kind of managing the messy middle.
Mm-hmm.
There's a feeling that um, that whole posture of open and protected and
Mm-hmm.
listening and speaking
Mm-hmm.
um, is a place where dreams come
Mm-hmm.
in. You know, from that place, you can you can receive your dreams.
Mm-hmm.
And there is, you know, are you? I'll speak for myself. Am I willing to tell people what I see, and and then move in that simple, in a simple way,
Mm-hmm.
open and protected.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like for me, you know, guarded is like I'm stopped, I'm guarded.
Mm-hmm.
There is there's a friend of mine, I'm trying to remember her thing. So it was like this shield and a machete, right? You know, she's like, it's like, all right, I don't know where you're going right now, but she's, you
Mm-hmm.
know, but it's like,
She's armed.
right, she's ready to go, and it's
Mm-hmm.
like, all right, and it's that most of the times I have not. That is not my posture for going after my dreams.
Mm-hmm.
With a shield and a machete,
Mm-hmm.
it was most of the times. It's like, okay, I believe this. I think this is a great idea, and
Are you
let's kind of see how this goes out.
are you a cliff jumper?
I am not.
No, I mean not in real life, but when dreams show up, do you just at some point say, "Let's go"? I know I am.
It's like no part of that that I was like, absolutely not. I'm not a cliff show.
Not today.
I think no. There's a lot of things that I do cautiously.
Mm-hmm.
I you know I'm and I think and it's like a borderline being straddling a fence,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's there is, but I think I straddle it in too many cases, too long.
Mm-hmm.
And
Stuck in like
so,
analysis paralysis.
right. So it creates this, you know, it creates the disconnect
Mm-hmm.
because it's like you're here, but you're not here. So um, there is this level of, all right, I don't know what you're going to do, and so we're just gonna bounce, right? Right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's the opportunity talking or whatever, but it's um, yeah, it's there is this safety is has always been a big thing for me,
Mm-hmm.
and really making sure I'm safe, my
Mm-hmm.
ideas are safe, my my communication is safe. You know, look,
Mm-hmm.
it's the main reason why I don't swear as much as many of my friends swear, right? You know, because
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to, you know, because I safely share difficult things.
Mm-hmm.
That's that's the William Brand, right? You know, right?
Okay.
You know, and it's those moments where I am not um I don't want to say I think there is this sense of that I don't give a damn,
Mm-hmm.
but I do, but it's like there is this um and you know, this is another thing that I said because this is the thought that I had. It's like, you know, what do I have to lose?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like my life, right? And am I willing to give up my life, or put another way, my understanding of my life? right? How I'm showing up. Because right now, if I would go after my dream or what I believe is costing me right now, there's a lot of things about the life that I think that I am developing will shift 180 degrees. I mean, it's like, whoa.
Can you give me an
There,
example? I feel like we're being kind of just out there a little bit. Let's get a little more
look, no,
specific.
the me being a coach, me being, having conversations within a business context, me being an author, talking about,
Yeah.
having conversations about, identity and showing up as yourself. That is a life. Beyond that, what I believe is, this spiritual leader really approaching this way of talking and showing up and having many of the same conversations, but having the conversations at a totally different level, and in a more intense way than, an hour or 90-minute coaching call. And it's like, that's a totally different life.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that you broke that down. Beautiful.
And so really, am I willing, even though it's because it reminded me, I don't know if you saw the movie Soul.
I did. That was great.
There was this moment where I forget, the young soul, when she, recognized that he wasn't the person, the mentor that he said. It's like, dude, why are you fighting so hard to get back to your life? Your life sucks, right? I mean, you're like, and it's like, whoa, 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 it's my life, right? Even my sucky life is my life.
Yeah.
And as a dreamer, it's like I am giving that up to, for me, I am willing to give that life up to really show up differently, greater, or I don't know, knocked down or not, or something. And then it's like, it's for me, there's this feeling that I can't just go back. Oh, okay, I tried this. It didn't work out. And now this is what we're doing. And it's like, you don't just, for me, you don't just do that and just kind of accept, anything less than that.
So when you hear the term dream bigger,
Right.
what does that incite in you?
It's, it's really the one thing that I have come to terms with is that I don't think I can dream bigger, right? What I believe, how that shows up for me, that statement, dream bigger, means to acknowledge the the bigger of this dream. There is, there are, because there have been times where I would have a dream about something, or I have a thought about something, and it's like, wow, that's cool. Let me kind of, I don't want to say dumb it down, but let me kind of make this more manageable too. So this is the dream, right? It's like, no, that's not the dream. The dream was this, right? You made
Right.
it this so you can, so you can do it. And you called that your dream. And tell what has happened to me is that I've reduced my dream, and then I bumped up against it. And then it's like, crap. Now, am I going to do more? Am I going to do? And it's like, I can't. I can't even. I barely did this well. And how am I going to do more than this? How am I going to really create? That. So yeah. So that's It's 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 really. Hopefully that made sense. That it's like, it's not that I'm there. There is nothing that I am doing
Mm-hmm.
to dream big.
Mm-hmm.
It's just accepting your dream at
Yeah.
the big level, at its the fullness of that
So I
is what.
want to, I cut you off. The fullness
No,
of
I
it.
just, yeah, the fullness of it, and just, and I was trying to think of, a better words, and that's just what's came out, right? So hopefully you understood that, right?
I did understand that, and I kind of want to throw out an anecdote that I remember sitting with a friend and in a group of people, and he threw out the conversation or the question: if you could live to be any age, and know that you definitively could live to that age, what age would
Right.
you choose to live to? And so we're going around the circle, and you're hearing these numbers of like 90 but healthy, like 120, but and then he just looked at everybody and was like, why did you choose numbers that are numbers that people already live to? I said you could live to any age. And, it was like, oh, if you could live to be 500. We can't even really comprehend that because
Wow.
within our own understanding, as you get older, you get sicker.
Hmm.
And if at this point you die off, like the oldest living person was what, 122 that died recently
Right.
or something like that.
Right. Hmm.
And I don't know the state of her health as she passed, other than of old age for sure.
Right.
But like, what could 500 even look like? How can we even imagine it? And you'll hear these biohackers talk about, oh yes, if we do this and we do that, the dream can be so big that it is
Right.
unfathomable that it could be healthy, that it could be vibrant.
Right.
500, we're sure in our minds is a very deteriorated, frail state
Right.
because up until now, that trajectory has only led in one direction.
Right.
And it wasn't like a one of like expansion as far as the physical body goes. So for me, that's kind of what I heard when you were saying that there's just this almost glass ceiling of how big, or the need to dumb a dream down to fit
Right.
within the glass ceiling
Right. That
of,
we created, right? We
yeah,
created
like,
the
oh, I want to be
parameters of our life, right?
1500,
Right.
1500. And people are like, but what about like 120?
Right.
Healthy though, and all these caveats that they add to it.
Right.
Who
Mm.
knows what that would even look like and what else is possible?
There, it was when you first said 500, there's a part of me was like, yeah, no, that's too much. I just
Mm-hmm.
like, I
Like,
don't, there's a level of this existence that I just have no desire to be around that
mm-hmm.
long. I There's a part of, I've been saying for a number of weeks, petty importance.
Mm,
There are so many things in the grand scheme of things that are just petty, but we make them so important, right?
mm,
And I think that's what kill us off, right?
mm-hmm,
It's all the stupid shit that we make important, um, and and we're missing how we can really show up for
mm-hmm.
ourselves and each other, and so really managing the petty importance of my life. It's like 500 years. No, that's too much. Right? It's
Yeah.
like, but it was like, that would be cool. But there is here for me in my mind, in my understanding, the only way that I would make it to be 500 years old or more, it wouldn't be around people. Right. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it's like there would be there would be a few people that I would have interaction with. Right.
Yeah, you'd really have to guard your
Right.
spirit. Yeah.
Right. And it's and I
Mm-hmm.
was like, what is that? Right. Am I like Yoda or something? Right.
But
I'm
the
just like,
the wise sage that, I
right.
mean, really, I think as we step into that wisdom that comes with age, there is something that's like, I don't need to have this very busy energy of just like spraying energy in every direction, right?
Right. Mm.
Um, I think that there's this. I can remember when my grandfather, he was, I think, 94 when he died, and at some point around 90 or 92, I started to see him get into kind of like this funk, and I'd be like, "What's up?" And he's like, like, I love hanging out with you guys, but all of my friends are dead. Like, why am I
Right.
still here? And I'm,
Right.
if he had that at 94, then
Right.
like, what's going to happen when
At
you're
500, right?
500?
It's
Like,
like,
so that we've made all these justifications to bring us
right.
back to our topic of being a dreamer, that we've not only dumbed our dreams down to fit inside of a glass ceiling, we've also created a superimposed reality of what
Mm,
life would be like to justify our dumbing down. Because it would be
mm.
lonely, or it would be sickly, or it would be something else. And I'm wondering where else we put that glass ceiling, out of a safety concern, I
Right.
think, or why else would we put a glass ceiling, do you think?
I think it comes back to our beliefs or our understanding, because the more that I was thinking about it, it was like, um, a lot of my dreams make no damn sense. And
Mm-hmm.
it feels like there is, even though there are people who have experienced parts of them, parts of the things that I believe that's a part of my dreams and all
Mm-hmm.
that. But I think it is for me. It doesn't make sense for me, not to
Mm-hmm.
me. It's for me. It's like when I look at my dream, and I don't know if that's a worthiness question. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know if that's, because there is this awareness of myself and this unawareness of myself that um, that allows me and not allow me to even entertain my dreams.
Mm-hmm. Because what
And
would happen if you did?
right, boy, there is this feeling, and I don't know, that there is this feeling that there is this um, there is this ground monk. There is there is this
There we go.
there is this separation.
Mm-hmm.
There is this, I show up, you know, I don't say once in a blue moon, but every, you know, for some level of wisdom or consideration or something. But other than that, I don't want to say I don't care, but those are not my cares.
There's a lot of energy to manage outside of that, right?
Right. And it's like, inviting people to be around, um, the I'm going to say this. I wasn't going to mention the retreat center on here for some reason. The dreamers like, don't talk about it. It's, haven't signed any papers yet. It's not, all, just kind of, it's like, dude, it's already out in the universe. Stop it. It's like, who are you keeping it from? But I was talking to my wife about, living next to the retreat center, and just kind of, what would, a day in the life, of me, living next, very close to, the retreat center. And without hesitation, I said, when people see me walking on the grounds, they will say, that's the crazy owner. That's the person that, that it's just that he's just, he's this lovely, crazy owner, of the place. You can talk to him and you can do all that, but he's just here. It's like he came with the place, right? And it's like,
Holder, holder of
right,
space.
right. And it was like, what is that all about? Right. Because, there's a part of me, it's like, okay, there's going to be a lot of doing. There's going to be a lot of, all this other stuff that I have to do, not to, not to manage or to kind of make this happen. But I see myself as this, this person that just kind of like, appears and just walks around the grounds and just like be there, for whoever wants to engage me. And I was just like, who are you right now? Right. But but there was no part of that, even me sharing that right now, even though that seems crazy, it feels comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And it's that type of thing that I already know how I am going to show up on a place that I've been dreaming about, that is not manifested basically in my possession.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that's the rule, I guess,
Yeah.
but it's and it's like, you're killing me, Smalls, right? You're killing me, right? I mean, it's like, it's that. It's just
Mm-hmm.
really, um, uh, yeah. So it's just really embracing all of that.
Mm-hmm. Love that. Well, I'm feeling like as we're winding down, I'd like to see what kind of takeaways we have
Right.
from healing the dreamer and what's coming up. And I know that one of the things that we've talked about before is the how
Mm,
is none of your business,
right.
and that's really. I'm going to pull out a few things here. Another card that we have. Let's see if I can get it in the frame.
Right.
Signs from heaven.
Right.
Thank you, heaven, for sending me reminders of your presence. And she's sleeping.
Right. She's chilling. Right.
She's dreaming.
Right.
Like, you give me all the signs you need. I can show up as the grounded monk.
Right.
I can show up as the property owner. I
Right.
can show up as whatever it needs to be, and I don't have to. Within that dreaming space, I don't have to solve anything. I'm
Right.
just holding space for this unspoken process.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. I think with me, the healing part of the dreamer for me is that acknowledging that within our dreams and how our dreams show up, there is this sense of loss, there is this sense of disappointment, there is this sense of anguish
Mm.
that, when we acknowledge,
Mm-hmm.
I'll put myself in the dreamer category, right? When we acknowledge that, then we can be healed.
Mm-hmm.
Then it will cause us. And I think I find it interesting that, it's like, when they say unspoken rules, right? There are just things in this family that are unspoken, right? There's
Mm.
this things that, and there has been like this unspoken rule that I don't talk about the last time that I went all in and lost $500,000. I just
Mm-hmm.
don't talk about that. And the fact that I've been talking about it
Mm-hmm.
has basically has been, it's been painful, but there's a clarity.
Mm-hmm.
There is a healing. There is that. And I think what I'm taking from this conversation is that, in your time, it's taken me 7 years. So, I mean, I'm not saying that, hey, something doesn't go right for you and then tomorrow I'll start blabbing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And just kind of just talking it out. Take the time that you need,
Mm-hmm.
and grieve it and give yourself the space, and dream again,
Dream
because you're
again.
because you're a dreamer. So
Mm-hmm.
so that's what I got.
I love that. Um, I'm thinking about how often we can use dreams to create new realities, both
Mm,
of things that we actually intend to manifest, but also the dreaming of escapism.
mm,
Um, and the daydreaming and things that we can also dream some pretty nasty stuff into reality too, unfortunately.
Right.
And, just like you're saying, that let's reactivate the dreamer in all of us that is not from a place of fear and that dreams are dangerous, or that it is dangerous to dream,
Right.
and step into the idea that we are fully protected. Armor can be a little bit further from our hearts, and our hearts can be open, and that dream can exist in that space
Right.
that is there, that holds space for that unspoken process.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Thank you, friend.
Blessings, my friend. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you all for joining us tonight, and we hope that this has been meaningful for you. We would love to hear your comments or your thoughts and whatever is coming up for you as you watched this or after, if you're watching the replay. We just thank you for taking time and for hanging with us. So we'll see you again next week. Blessings.
Blessings.
Mm-hmm.